Hi everyone, my name is Hope and today I'm going to be talking about 5 tips to reduce anxiety symptoms while you're having them. So if you're interested in learning more, stay tuned. So what exactly is anxiety? Anxiety is a state of worry, fear, uneasiness about a potentially threatening situation. And notice I said potentially because that's just the way that your brain is interpreting it. And as a result, your brain triggers what we call a stress response. Usually you're overthinking, you start thinking irrational things about a particular event. You may have increased heart rate, hyperventilation, you start breathing, you start sweating, and you actually have physical symptoms as a result of being overly anxious. So today I am going to give you 5 tips of ways to reduce that anxiety symptoms. Now, I made another video with tips on how to prevent it long term, but today I'm going to focus on while you're in the middle of an anxiety attack or panic attack. Tip number 1, name it, right? You want to pinpoint or identify your symptom causing trigger. For example, if drinking caffeinated beverages or coffee causes your heart to race and that heart racing causes you to have irrational thoughts or become anxious, you may want to eliminate caffeinated beverages. So that's just an example. So the first step in overcoming or getting through your anxiety symptoms is figuring out what exactly is causing that symptoms. So in the middle of an anxiety attack, you definitely want to try to eliminate the triggers that are causing the symptoms as quickly as possible. Tip number 2, breathe. Oftentimes when you're anxious or your body begins to respond to a stress response, you begin hyperventilating or shallow breathing. This decreases the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in your body. Taking slow, deep breaths can begin to normalize the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen in your body. It helps to slow your breathing, decrease your heart rate, and it also helps with clearer thought. One recommendation for breathing slowly is to take slow, deep breaths in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth with a pursed lip and making a whooshing sound, like and continue to do that until you feel yourself becoming more calm. Tip number 3, adjust your thinking, right? As I mentioned before, anxiety often comes with overthinking or thinking irrational thoughts. You perceive something as being alarming or dangerous. I'll share an example with you of a story I heard many, many years ago. There's this lady at a bus stop waiting for the bus, and she was standing at the corner. All is well, beautiful day. Then she became sad. Then she began to cry. She began to weep. And another person at the bus stop approached her and said, "Ma'am, what's going on? Why are you crying? Is everything okay?" And she said, "I just had a thought that my son ran out in the street and got hit by a bus and died." That really just had her started crying even more. And the person at the bus stop said, "Well, is everything okay? Is your son okay? Why are you thinking that?" And she said, "Well, I don't have a son, but I just thought that what if I did, and I was out here at the bus stop and he was with me and he ran into the street and got hit by a bus." The thought that she had preceded her reaction, and it also allowed her body to initiate this stress response. She was crying. She was hyperventilating. Her heart raced. She was probably sweaty and her muscles were probably tightening up, all because of her thought. So if we can learn to manage our thoughts, change our perspective about our situation, that will help us in the middle of an anxiety attack. Just think, okay, I've been here before. This isn't real. I'm going to get through it. I'm not going to die, right? This isn't as bad. Just own it, validate your feelings, and you'll be able to pivot or move from that irrational thought into something more calming. Tip number 4, talk about it. But talking to yourself or talking to others or speaking out loud, even if you're speaking to your anxiety, tell it to leave you alone. Talking helps to calm your mind, and it distracts your mind from thinking the alarming thought. So it also helps to get you through the feelings of anxiety. Finally, tip number 5, chewing gum. Right? There is a whole research and study about the efficacy of chewing gum to calm you. Research shows that chewing gum helps to reduce the amount of what we call salivary cortisol, which cortisol is one of those hormones that is released in the height of a stressful event in your body. So chewing gum helps to reduce the amount of cortisol in your body. It has a calming effect. It distracts your mind, and there's so many benefits of chewing gum, not necessarily the sugary gums, but just chewing on gum helps to calm you. So those are my 5 tips for getting through anxiety in the middle of it. If you enjoy these tips, subscribe for more information. Check out my other video on how to prevent and overcome anxiety symptoms. Also, my videos on stress and other healthy tips.